Good morning from the Universal Parking Garage. We're here today because we have a lot of news from Halloween Horror Nights that's coming up, some new things around the park celebrating movies that are coming out. It's exciting times at Universal Studios. So we're gonna go inside, have a look around, see what we can see that's new, and just hang out at Universal. So let's head inside. Oh, it's certainly a busy day here at Universal Studios. I don't know if you guys can see it back there behind me, but it did take kind of a minute to get through security because there were so many people back there. It was like quick and efficient, but there was just so many people. I say a minute, like 5 minutes. As we're walking into City Walk, one of the first things that should be noted is that the Starbucks here in City Walk is under refurbishment. So this is the first thing on your left just after Bubba Gump's. And normally that's where you would go to Starbucks, but right now they have it closed and there is a temporary location upstairs. I'll go and show you guys where. So we're gonna go up the escalator first and we're headed to the top level of City Walk over here. When we get to the top of that escalator, we are turning towards the right and heading in this direction towards Antojitos. So up here in between Fat Tuesday and Antojitos, and right next to Hot Dog Hall of Fame, is Universal's Great Movie Escape, which is a movie-themed escape room, but inside here is where the Starbucks is. Yeah, there's just a temporary Starbucks location in here, and I think that maybe they're hoping that more people will notice that there's an escape room here and come to the escape room, because I feel like they opened this and not a lot of people have been doing the escape room. I haven't done it yet. They do have some outfits that were inspired by Back to the Future 3 and inspired by Back to the Future 2. I do like that his shirt here is the same as his handkerchief. I'm assuming that because he made his handkerchief out of his shirt. I need to come and do this one to him. I do like escape rooms. I think we'll do that maybe this, summer. You can also get here by turning in between like the Epic Universe Preview Center and Big Fire, or Big Fire and Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. And these are the hours of the Starbucks location: 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday are 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So because we're here early, if you are familiar with City Walk, you know this like big Coca-Cola stand here, sort of in the middle at the fork where you either turn right to go to Universal Studios or left to go to Islands. They do serve breakfast here from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. Here's a look at the breakfast options: egg and cheese sandwich, bacon, egg and cheese sandwich, sausage, egg and cheese, paparienta, and chicken and beef empanada. But before we head into the park, let's head into the Universal Studios store and see if they've got anything interesting happening in there. Any new merch or any interesting merch. As soon as we walk in, we are greeted with some Jurassic World Rebirth stuff. And I like this. It's Dolores from the movie. And it's interactive too. Let me see, this one I had turned on. Do I have to turn it off and then back on again? Let's see. Hello? Oh, did you see her eyeball move? Well, there she goes. Yeah, and then there's a little, some candy to give her, because that's what you should do, is feed wild dinosaurs candy. And then I believe she's also shoulder mounted. Yeah, look. See, there's a silicone shoulder mount. Pretty awesome. How much is this thing? Oh, $55. My goodness, okay. But still, kind of fun. I really feel like they're anticipating Dolores being a big moneymaker with the kids. In Jurassic Park. Wild and free. 1993 when the first movie came out, and this shirt is $40. I do like that they're doing this now, where there's a hat that has a hidden print that is revealed when it's wet, and they kind of give you a preview of what the print looks like. We have a Donkey Kong hat like this that has bananas, sea, land, and air since 65 million BC, and these hats are $25. I like this Horton from Horton Hears a Who, but it's a hat. How fun. Let me put it on. It's perfect. I love it so much. It's like, you know how they used to have in cartoons where they would lead a horse around by a carrot? That's what this feels like in front of me. I couldn't imagine wearing this around the park all day, but I kind of love it. It's kind of my favorite hat that I've ever seen in my life. And now you, the viewer, has to make the hard decision. Would you spend $30 on a Horton hat or this fan hat? As we're looking across the waterway here towards Hard Rock Cafe, you can see Rip Ride Rockit is still running currently, but they have started doing some land clearing around it. And I'm hoping they have protected the little piece of the Berlin Wall that was back there by Club 315, which was a tribute to CBGB's. And so just as an FYI, the last day to ride Rip Ride Rockit is August 17th. So it closes for good on the 18th. And then I feel like they're going to start dismantling this thing quick, I think, based on the fact that they've already started doing the land clearing over here to the left. And it won't be long now until we start getting the medallions for Halloween Horror Nights showing up here at the Arches. Halloween Horror Nights starts on August 29th. There's about a month and a half away, a little bit over a month and a half away. So look forward to some Halloween Horror Nights updates, like construction updates and things like that coming soon. All right, we've made it into Universal Studios, and we're actually gonna turn off to the right over here and head in this direction, because one of the things that is new right now is that in the Wicked store, Glinda and Elphaba are meeting again. You can see they've got some stanchions set out for when they are meeting. They're not currently meeting at the moment, but they will at some point today. We'll check back and see if we can figure out the times for them. So one thing I wanted to point out before we go too far is over here, near the bathrooms, there's a fuel rod machine, and there's something interesting about it. So inside the fuel rod machine, if you hit buy, you can get the Max kit, Fuel Rod Max 10 kit. It is $85.66 after tax. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that if you are buying these here, right now on Amazon, because it is Prime Day, and it might not be Prime Day while you're watching this, but currently it's Prime Day, you can get a pack of 2 for $44, as opposed to just buying one here for $42.83. So you should buy them on Amazon before your trip, and then bring them along, and you can swap them out here at the fuel rod location for fully charged units. I will say that if you are swapping a fuel rod here though at Universal, it is $3 to swap it. So a little bit more FYI about the fuel rods is that they are free to swap at Disney. And I know that we got our fuel rods a long time ago, so they kind of, I think they gave us free swapping, because when it originally came out, they were getting free swapping, and then they tried to charge at Disney. And I think that there was a little bit of pushback on that. And so I think they went back to the free charging for those that had the fuel rods from the beginning. I don't know if Disney is currently charging for new fuel rods in order to swap those. But here at Universal, it doesn't matter if new or old, whatever it is, still $3 to swap it out. Just kidding, I just got the information that it is free to swap no matter when you bought your fuel rod at Disney or where you bought it. So if you bought those ones from Amazon, free to swap out at Disney, $3 here at Universal. Ladies and gentlemen, it has begun. Is this for Halloween Horror Nights? Are we starting to get lighting structures and the beginning of the construction for Halloween Horror Nights? It's not far off. I would not put it past them to start now. Start placing the first pieces here in Hollywood for Halloween Horror Nights. Passing by the mystery machine, and I like that they have Scooby snacks in the front there. These are new. I mean, newish. It looks like they expire in November of 2025. Here comes Marilyn in her Cadillac. So now is as good a time as any to talk about some Halloween Horror Nights updates. So one of the most recent IP houses that was released is the Jason Universe house. So I just wanted to read what Universal has on their website for the description of the Jason Universe house. The iconic horror villain Jason Voorhees is coming for you. Step into his terrifying world, from his sinister shack in the woods to the summer camp where it all began, Camp Crystal Lake. I'm very excited for all of the things that have been announced for Halloween Horror Nights, and we're going to talk about more of them as we progress through the park. Exciting times. I'll talk about another one right now. Hold on. And if you guys remember back, we talked about this frame here where we've already gotten the announcement for Fallout, and now we've gotten the announcement for Jason Universe. But there are still 3 other IPs. They did announce Five Nights at Freddy's, but they haven't given us any more information about it. We're kind of assuming that this one might be Five Nights at Freddy's. But as of right now, we only have these 2 for the photo frame of the 3 IPs that have been announced. And the other IP that has been announced, like we said, was Fallout. And I do know that this dog's name is Dogmeat now. I remember that, and I know it. So for Fallout, on the website, they say, face your fears in post-apocalyptic LA, devastated by nuclear war, based on the hit show and game franchise Fallout. If you guys haven't seen the show Fallout, I definitely recommend doing a little bit of research before Halloween Horror Nights and catching up on that show. It was a really good show. I liked it a lot. I haven't played the game, but I did like the show. And back here is the Universe brand of streetwear that they have. This is the section of this store, the 5 and 10. And they have some new Mummy merch out for the Brendan Fraser movie, The Mummy. A little crop sweatshirt here with the back having Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz embraced. They also have some Boris Karloff's Mummy merch as well.
Hi, do you know anything about these monsters?
I know he's got a great rear end, that's for sure.
Oh, look at this mirror. Oh, did you see it? It was just there. Shaggy, come here.
Like what?
There was something in here.
I did we get in there?
Hello, monster. It was here just a second ago.
Like, what was it?
It was a scary monster face behind the glass.
Well, like, why do we want to provoke it then?
Well, we need to see what it's doing.
I don't know that I want to do that.
I promise I'm not crazy. I know it's there.
No, I've seen it before. I know that.
You have?
Yes, of course. Oh, there it was. Oh, jeez.
Pinkies, now I gotta go get him. Sorry about that.
Good luck. Well, this is wild.
Dracula's in there. He bites.
Dracula?
He also has
This is
yellow
wild,
eyes.
right?
He might have jaundice.
Oh no, Dracula has jaundice.
He does? Okay.
Yeah.
He's not well.
He needs blood, that's the thing. He needs a transfusion,
can't
probably. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh no, that's not good. Shaggy's having a heart
You
attack.
saw that too, right?
Oh yeah. These minions are meeting
Deep breath.
with
Deep breath.
Doc Brown behind
You guys have a brown
Shaggy
bag
and
right
Velma. No. So we're making our way out of Hollywood, and you can see there is a tower there. But this is something that I found kind of interesting that made me sort of second guess my Halloween Horror Nights idea. Is that they're over here. And that's pretty uncommon for Halloween Horror Nights, but this could also be a food location for Halloween Horror Nights that they're just getting set up right now. I'm leaning more towards that they are starting to set up for Halloween Horror Nights. This may be insignificant, but there is a chalk line across the road here. And that may have been to try to figure out the center point of that archway right there as to where it's going. But yeah, I find it interesting. There's a chalk line here. But it does look like it lines up pretty much right with the center line of that archway. Making our way back over towards Rip Ride Rocket because we're gonna be checking in the New York section for some Halloween Horror Nights updates. Last time we were here, we noticed that there was this Historic Preservation Act for the Engine 89 firehouse, which is the Ghostbusters firehouse. But it looks like there are some other things here too. Building better roads for a better future. We're making improvements every day. This new line will relieve transit congestion and provide improved access to Midtown civic improvements. And that of course is a reference to Back to the Future. Gundracker Construction. Charlie Gundracker is the Senior Vice President of Attraction Development here at Universal. Structural reinforcement, building code upgrades. Trusted and proven for over 37 years. It's a nice little tribute to somebody. So as we head a little bit deeper into New York, I did want to point out that, yeah, we do have lights up here, but the lights have been hard to point out as a representation of Halloween Horror Nights construction things because they kind of have been leaving lights up there a lot for the different parades and seasonal things that they have. Yes, these probably are Halloween Horror Nights lights, but I can't be 100% sure. One thing I can tell you is that as soon as we start seeing this cable go across these two buildings, that's when we know that Halloween Horror Nights construction is really started. So there it is, our famed cable that connects these two buildings is there. Also wanted to point out that if you're a fan of the Blues Brothers, their stage is under refurbishment right now. So when we start talking about Halloween Horror Nights construction, I always like to come back here by Louis and check back in this direction. Because if they're going to use a car as a prop in the New York section, sometimes they'll stage it back here. And as of right now, there is no car prop back here. There's a lot of stanchions or like line dividers, and I don't know what those are for. Could be for Horror Nights, but it seems kind of early to start prepping this sort of stuff. So I'm assuming that this is for some event that they have coming up soon. But while we are over here, and speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple more of the original houses that we have coming. So we have all 5 original houses announced, and the first one I wanted to mention was called Galkin, and I'll give you the description that they give on the website. And I would kind of like reiterate the pronunciation of that. I might be saying it wrong, but to me, it seems like it's kind of like Galkin, like a little bit of like a stunted at the end of it. So the name of this house is Galkin Monsters of the North. And the website reads, in a remote northern village, a wicked being rises from the dead, bringing a horde of monsters and demons from the fjords to wreak havoc on the townspeople. You'll face icy, horned, winged, and wolfish fiends that gradually merge into one giant horror. Then you'll try to escape the belly of the beast. This sounds awesome, because not only will it be a cold house, they'll crank the AC up in there because they want it to feel cold, but also I like the idea of like seeing multiple monsters that form into one, and then apparently, I don't know, belly of the beast type stuff. I don't think you'll have to like actually escape its belly. You will have to try to get out of the grasp of this giant monster. And when they say giant, I know that they're gonna have some huge set piece or huge puppet. So that sounds like it's gonna be really good. The next original house that I wanted to mention is called Grave of the Flesh. Welcome to your funeral, where things are about to go from bad to worse. You'll enter your grave, then pass through the gates of the underworld, where flesh eaters who feed on the dead will be waiting for you. Get lost in their cavernous underground world where an endless gauntlet of flesh-eating creatures will hunt you mercilessly for all eternity. Whoa, buddy. I like the way that this sounds because not only one, you go underground. We like underground mazes. We like things like that. I like the idea of it being kind of like twisty and turny and like hard to figure which way you're going to be going. It is Halloween Horror Nights, so I think that it will be fairly clear which way you're going. I don't think they're going to give you too many options as to which way to go. I like the idea of it being like tight and confined and kind of claustrophobic underground creatures trying to eat you from all different directions. Did want to come over here by Fast and Furious Supercharged just to have a look at the tent for the house that's going back here. We don't see any sort of like external theming on it just yet, but we do see the tent. There it is. Oh no, theme park pigeon being bullied by sparrows or like smaller birds. No, oh buddy, I'm sorry bud, you tried your best. As we're heading into San Francisco, there's a new milkshake at Richter's. I'm up for a milkshake, so let's give it a try. So the new shake is called the Cereal Crunch Shake. It is $9.49. It's got cereal milk, cereal crunch topping. Also wanted to point out the Mother Nature Burger, a tribute to disaster. I think I'm also gonna get a jumbo chocolate chip cookie because you guys know I love chocolate chip cookies. Inside of Richter's, there's another Gundracker construction sign. Another earthquake-proof home, structural upgrades and earthquake reinforcement now on this sign. $9.50. Cereal milk with cereal on top. Let's give it a try. Okay, let's try it with a spoon. All right, so now I've got some of the milkshake and some of the cereal here. It's like eating a cold version of milk and cereal. That's pretty interesting. I do have to also mention the Captain Crunch on top. Perfect. Like it's not stale. Sometimes when you have cereal that goes on top of a dessert item, it will have sat out in a container for a little bit that they like scoop out of and put on top of the desserts, and it gets stale. This is not stale. If they put it on top of a donut or something, it'll get stale because some reason the donut juices or whatever get into it. So this, the cereal's not stale, so it does taste just like you're eating milk and cereal, but cold at the same time. It's great on a hot day. So yeah, I would probably get it again. Let's give this cookie a try now. So you guys know I am a cookie aficionado. This is a pretty good sized cookie. It was $4.79. So let's try it, see. I mean, that's an enjoyable cookie. No frills, no nothing going on. Just a delicious cookie. I would get that again. It's nice, like a nice little cookie to, if you're on a cookie break, you need to stop off and grab a cookie. This one's a good candidate for that. As we head a little bit further into San Francisco, we're starting to see it. Truss work up for Halloween Horror Nights. I like that they kind of tried to decorate it like Amity still though, because they do have all the Amity stuff out for the 50th anniversary of Jaws and our $9.50 hot dog still. But they decided to put some Coca-Cola decorations and some nets around these to try to hide the fact that these are for Halloween Horror Nights. No, nothing to see here, just some Coca-Cola advertisements celebrating the summer of Jaws. More Halloween Horror Nights stuff. You can see they've already run power down to this one. Some of these will get lights and things like that over here. And it looks like they kind of used it to route it over to the other things, the other spots in the area. And then there's one lone lighting tower out here by the London waterfront, because in years past this area has been used to promote new movies that are coming out, new horror movies and new franchises that are coming out, but also to kind of like light the way here because the London waterfront is historically barren during Halloween Horror Nights. They do usually have Death Eaters inside of Diagon Alley, but this area right here, they don't decorate at all for Halloween. One year they had gobos up there with some like spooky imagery, but other than that, nothing. Looking across the way at this bridge here, they have taken the bridge apart and they are starting to replace some of the woodwork on it. Continuing our way past the London waterfront, heading towards the old Fear Factor stage. We're starting to see a little bit of truss work here that'll show the times for the show that will be happening back here. In years past, it has been Nightmare Fuel. It hasn't been announced quite yet for this year to be Nightmare Fuel, but I believe it will be Nightmare Fuel. So we'll have a big sign here talking about Nightmare Fuel. And then we've got a few other lighting towers over here, that these two that are on either side will be for Nightmare Fuel. But then the two over there will be an entrance to two houses that lead back in that direction, and then end up making your way all the way around way back in the far corner of the property there. And while we're over here, I did want to talk a little bit more about a couple more houses that we've got, some more original houses. So the first one is Dolls Let's Play Dead. You're about to become doll size and witness the unnatural creations of a twisted little girl. You'll be hunted by fashion dolls she's melted and burned. Then you'll go under her bed and be stalked by toys she's stitched together. You'll end up in her creepy Victorian dollhouse where undead horrors await. I like this because, and I know this is the other franchise, but it sounds like Sid from Toy Story. Like if you took Sid from Toy Story, turned him into a horror person, like a really horrible person, and made a haunted house about him. And that sounds fantastic. Like I can't wait to see what these dolls look like, what these toys look like. And then I can't wait to like see what the Victorian dollhouse looks like. Because I know that Universal does such a good job of like building sets and set pieces. I'm really excited to see what this dollhouse looks like. And the next one I wanted to talk about is Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters. And this is an extension of the Slaughter Cinema line of haunted houses that we've seen in years past. In this Old West town, all hell is breaking loose. Masses of red hot lava demons are crawling out of hell's well and trying to possess everyone, melting everything in their path. As you flee from the post office to the bank, the prison to the graveyard, your only hope is Hatchet and Chains with their arsenal of mystical weapons. That sounds amazing. Like basically the thing with Slaughter Cinema is Universal Creative has invented B horror movies. With the Slaughter Cinema franchises, they have made them into different scenes in haunted houses. With Slaughter and Chains, we saw them in a haunted house, but now they're getting their entire house. With lava monsters, yeah, sounds very cool. I like that it's in an Old West town. Like, I'm just like picturing these things in my head and they sound so awesome. And this just gets me more and more hyped for what's to come. We've got one more house to talk about that, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit as we get a little bit further around the park. Well, I did also want to mention that these bathrooms are under refurbishment here in front of the Fear Factor stage. You would have to go into Diagon Alley or over here by Men in Black. There's some more bathrooms over there. So I don't have a really good zoom lens on this camera, but if you kind of look through here, you can see some of the set work for the Nightmare Fuel show. And like I said, these towers are going to lead you into some houses that you'll walk along a path here and it'll kind of go behind everything all the way back to the far corner of Universal Studios in the backstage area. As we're looking through, you guys probably won't be able to see this on video, but we can see some of the tents back there that they're working on for Halloween Horror Nights, because this will be another entrance location for some houses back here. And then we're continuing our way around Universal Studios. As we make our way around to the other side of the bridge, you can see that it did need some repairs, and they are going to have to replace some of the wood for sure. As we head back around the backside of the Simpsons ride, we come to this walkway that was specifically built for Halloween Horror Nights, and then we start to get a view of the Halloween Horror Nights tent. But yeah, we're looking at the backside of some of these houses out here. Can't really see much. We can see kind of the backside of a facade of a house over there. Can't see anything for the front facade of this one yet. But we will be back. They have been working inside of these tents. And these are those other two tents that I was telling you guys about, where the entrance is over there by where Nightmare Fuel is going to be. And those are the other tents that will house a couple more houses back here. So 4 total houses back in this area. All right, heading into the last section of the park that would be a scare zone, and that is the East Green of Central Park. And I'm not seeing anything as of yet. There are flags out. Those flags could mean something. You never know. Some wires hanging from the top of the building over there. Could be something. Once again, you do never know. Yeah, it sort of feels like we're in the beginning stages of running wires and mapping things out. Yeah, we've got a breakout box back here behind the bushes. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm calling it Horror Night stuff. It's happening. Horror Night stuff. This is where they keep their spooky stanchions, you know, just in case. It is blocking off this like piece of wood down here, which I don't know what this piece of wood is for, but they do have it walled off to make sure that, I don't know, something doesn't go there. Or maybe they have this area separated so that they know that something can go here. Over here is La Bamba that has some specialty beverages right now, but there's also some lighting towers back here in this seating area. One thing that they've started doing recently with Halloween Horror Nights is really kind of focusing on the food and giving people things to eat and places to eat them. So I'm assuming that this right here will be a place where you can get food from La Bamba and then eat it over here in the seating area, and they'll have like cool Halloween-y lighting. As we pass by the lagoon here in the middle of Universal Studios, I did want to point out that we have all of these fountains here because they do a fountain lagoon show, and they have done one for Halloween Horror Nights in the past, and so they haven't announced it yet, but we're fairly confident that there will be one this year for Halloween Horror Nights. We heard this happening over in the streets of New York, so we came over to see it. It's a cool little entertainment offering that they do. It's kind of like a flash mob almost. And if you're interested in checking out that full show, it's called Vamos Bailalo, and that is like a high energy Latin dance party in the middle of the street. After they do their set, then they come out into the audience and pull people in to come out and do some dancing with them. It's a really fun time. So check it out if you're here next time. Another hot day at Universal Studios where they've got the fire hydrant cracked here in New York. It's about 12:30 and they've already started putting out stanchions for the mega movie parade at 2 p.m. Came back over to the Wicked store to see if Glinda and Elphaba were here. They do have the stanchions set up a little bit better, but they're not currently there right now. All right, heading out into City Walk once again. Gotta check up on Jimmy Buffett's plane. As we're out here in City Walk, I wanna head over and have a look at the Hemisphere Dancer, like I said, and I don't know if I can walk. It seems like I can walk this way. Yeah, I can walk this way past Hard Rock here, but you can see this is all for the construction around Rip Ride Rockit. You know what? I talked about that piece of the Berlin Wall. Let's see if the construction walls go up to the side of Hard Rock here, or if there's still a walkway back to the backside of Hard Rock. Seems like there is still a walkway back here, so we can kind of get a look at what's happening. Oh, the Berlin Wall. There it is. Just a big sign saying, it's this way. Come look at it. That was amazing. But yeah, you can see the work that they're doing here, kind of through the fence here, pouring some footers, doing some dirt work, things like that. All while Rip Ride Rockit is running over there. Yeah, you can still get back here to the old Nickelodeon studios here, and you can still see the Berlin Wall. Everything is still available back behind Hard Rock Cafe. Came up the stairs a little bit here just to kind of have a look. Nothing really going on. Can't really say, it's just they're moving dirt. That's all that's happening right now. There it is. Hemisphere Dancer appears to be complete 100% now. So I know that I've said this a bunch, but it always is mind-blowing to me that like this is Jimmy Buffett's plane. This is his personal plane that is here at Universal Studios. They just refurbished it all, and it is the story. Like this is the plane from Jamaica Mistake. You can see here's a bullet hole. Before these were patched. Right now they're covered over with like a clear resin so you can see that they are bullet holes in the outside of the plane. Now originally I thought there was more than one bullet hole, but right now I'm just seeing that one that I just showed over there. Huh. They did put the landing gear behind clear plastic too. Oh no, during the construction of it, it seems like a dragonfly flew inside and is now permanently encased inside of the Hemisphere Dancer. Yeah, when this thing was here before, it had some patches over top of what I thought were multiple bullet holes, but it seems like it's just the one bullet hole right there. It's cool that they did that though, that they like covered it in resin and everything so you could see it. Oh yeah, the engines also have some clear plastic over them too to protect them from the elements. I think that these were all locations that they found when they were doing the remodel that were like spots that needed extra attention, so they kind of protected them as best they could in order to make it last a little bit longer out here in the elements. And I did also want to point out that this is at the Hemisphere Dancer has its own little flight log there too. But this is the drink menu, and then it tells a little story. Excerpt from A Pirate Looks at 50 from Jimmy Buffett, West Palm Beach, 12/25/95. And this excerpt's really interesting because it tells the story of why he got this plane and like what his thoughts were behind it. So he crashed a plane, and then he was bringing a lot of stuff with him. There was just too much stuff for his Citation 2. So he brought this Grumman Albatross, and then he had this idea of flying the world with his family in a big old flying boat. So this is what he bought. He bought an Albatross. As we were walking out of the park, I did notice that the construction is kind of spilled across the walkway, and they've kind of torn up this sidewalk over here. So I don't know if they're going to kind of grade that down or what their plan is there. And then before we call it a day, there was one more Halloween Horror Nights house, original house that they have announced, and it is called El Artista, a Spanish Haunting. In 19th century Spain, a tortured artist moves into an isolated country manor for inspiration, but the art comes alive and possesses him. And now that right there sounds so cool, as if like there will be people dressed up as art, and they will be inside of a frame, and you'll think it's art, but then they'll jump out at you and say, ha ha, gotcha. Sounds cool, sounds like a brilliant idea, and I can't wait to see this country manor. I love a country manor. Who doesn't love a good country manor? So there you have it. That was our trip out to Universal Studios Florida. Originally, it was just going to be kind of an update on the area, and then we started to notice how much Halloween Horror Nights stuff was happening, and we got to do a Halloween Horror Nights construction update. We did it, everybody. It was a Halloween Horror Nights construction update. Halloween is starting right now in the middle of July 9th. Halloween is starting now. I'm very excited for all of these houses. We should be getting more announcements. Like I said, these 5 houses that we've gotten are the original houses. Then we've gotten 2 IPs, and we got 5 Nights at Freddy's. So we got Fallout and Jason, and then we got 5 Nights at Freddy's, but they didn't really explain what that was going to be. We'll have to wait and see if that's gonna be a house or a scare zone or both, or what will be happening, because we don't have any details on it. So right now we still have 3 houses left to be announced, and they're all going to be based on intellectual properties or movies or TV shows or something like that. So very excited for that. Hey guys, Future Tim here. Since recording this, they did actually announce one more IP house, and that is Terrifier. And here's what the website has to say about that. Nothing can prepare you for this grisly haunted house based on all 3 of Damien Leone's Terrifier films. Try your luck against the sadistic Art the Clown in his twisted funhouse. Witness Art's gleeful, grotesque handiwork of torture. You'll be left literally dripping with terror and drenched with fear. It's a whole new level of gore. That to me says you're gonna get wet. Like really wet in this house. Not looking forward to that? Although on a hot day, that does sound like fun. Or if it's raining on opening day, you're already soaking wet, so might as well get wet inside of a house. All right, now back to you, Past Tim. Stay tuned, we will be coming back and checking out everything that there is Halloween Horror Nights leading up to the event, and coming to Halloween Horror Nights when the event actually starts. All in all, it was a fantastic day. And with that being said, we're off. We'll see y'all tomorrow. And now it's time to pay the price.